Hey, good morning, Misfits. It is Friday, Friday, Friday. I've got an interview this afternoon, or not this afternoon, at 9 o'clock with Ricardo Leone. And he's part of the North Texas Dallas Firewalkers, kind of a little offshoot of the Tony Robbins community. And he's got another podcast that he's doing that I'm blessed to be interviewed on. Him and Courtney Carr are part of that, and it's going to be an amazing conversation. Courtney, what's if you're available? I see your beautiful picture there. What's the premise behind that conversation, that community that I'm going to be a part of, and maybe we can inform some of the folks who are on here. They may want to jump over there.
Yeah. Well, we wing it. We wing it. So, a little bit
Bring
about
it
us.
is good.
Yeah. So kind of same thing we do here, only it it always leads to deep conversation. So, we just picked mindset focus. So whenever we started the subject, it was mindset. So how we do it is like we have a word of the week on Monday. So we'll talk about our word of the week on our first show on Monday, and kind of plug that in. So I think our word this week is note. Yes, I should pay more attention about that. But anyway, and then Wednesday we'll pick kind of a deep dive subject. And this week we pick self-talk. So I think it's a common trend going on that check in with your self-talk. And then for every other Friday, we interview somebody who's changed our lives. And this Friday, today, Sean's here. So Rashawn will be there at 9 a.m. Central Time. So it's forceforgrowth.com. And we have finally got the website set up where it's every listening platform you want. And then as well, they're posted afterwards on YouTube. So we can't say how excited we are to have Sean on, because truthfully, he played a role in inspiring our morning calls, which inspired our podcast. And yeah, so it's a lot of stuff coming together. And okay, so that's the link, but we're excited. So we don't know what we're going to talk to Sean about. I don't even think Sean knows what we're going to talk to him about, but it'll be good. We know that much. So, but yeah, mindset and self-talk, I think, is where we're going to go. But who knows? That's a
Who
magic of
knows?
it, Sean.
That's the intent, and good intentions lead us to great results. So
Yes.
uh, I love it. And I got to say, Courtney, thank you for all you do. And I will let you know, I don't always get to see your picture on here, depending upon what screen you show up on, but your abundant vitality has been used significantly in almost every day somebody has come across, and thanked you for that. So thank you for being here.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing that.
thank you guys. Y'all taught me more after y'all shared yeah. So it's been a week of learning for me as well, but thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Listen, one of the things I wanted to share yesterday was day one of the inner circle masterminds for the individuals, for the individual groups, the small little groups. And I got to tell you, one of the things that was funny, if you happen to be part of one of the inner circle masterminds, just raise your hand. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing that's funny. When we were part of this is we're doing something that I haven't taught in probably a decade, maybe a dozen years, because it's so powerful. I saw it used for not good one time, and it kind of turned me off of teaching anybody else it anymore. But because of the groups that we have here, so anyways, the thing that I taught at the end of it, because there's supposed to be this level of connection amongst the group, but one of the things that was throughout each community was, okay, I said, raise your hand if you think nobody's going to call you. And everybody kind of went. This is a group, we put these little groups together, and the reason I say this, follow me on this, even these little mastermind groups that I have for self-talk, and after we went through it, it still popped up into somebody's head. It still popped up, even though we're this amazing community, we're this amazing group of a handful of people. I wonder if somebody's going to call me. So it just reminded me that the topic for today, right? Self-talk doesn't have to be negative to hurt you. And this whole idea that I just got to change my negative self-talk. You got to change. It might serve you to change your doubtful self-talk. It might help you to change your I'm not sure self-talk. So I would ask you, for those of you that aren't in the groups, pay attention. Pay attention to the words that run through your head. See if you can slow down the traffic long enough to see what's underneath it. Right? What is it that's carrying your consciousness? What's the thought process you sit in right now? I'd ask you this. What was the words that got the 30 of you on the call this morning? Right? Because this call has had 70 people on it. It's had 80 people on it. It's had 100 people on it. What keeps it from having those people on it now? It's their self-talk. What keeps you on it? Listen, let me be very clear. Nothing is overrated. Nothing is overpriced. It's undervalued. So as you spend time with yourself today, and as you choose to do the things you need to today, decide what the value is you're willing to pay. What is the price of the value you're willing to pay? To eat a pretzel instead of a salad, or to not go for a walk today, you'll go for a walk tomorrow, to not do the push-ups that you need to do because, well, I'm not at the gym or whatever. Look at how your self-talk, it doesn't have to always be negative, a big, hairy, scary monster going, you're not good enough. You know which one does more damage? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be okay today. I'll be okay today. I'll do it tomorrow. There's so much incredible resources, right? How many of you have heard when they talk about science, where they talk about some particular molecule, or they talk about some particular resource that if they could learn to tap into it, right? If we could learn how to have nuclear cars, right? How instantly pollution would disappear and all of that. But because of when we say the word nuclear, and we've had a couple of scares and some serious issues, right? Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island. We wind up with a predisposition towards certain things. But how much do we really understand about that? The same thing goes with your self-talk. Yeah, no, I'm pretty good with my self-talk. Okay. Have you ever failed to reach a goal you wanted to set? Do you have the skills, the abilities, the talents? Yes. Well, then why didn't you reach it? Well, if you reached it, would your financial situation change? If you reached it, would your status in life change? If you reached it, would there be anybody jealous because you did it? A lot of times I say this because right now, on August 14th of 2020, self-talk is crushing so many things in this world. It's causing more violence at home. It's causing more use of alcohol, more use of drugs. Self-talk is what's doing that. So as you look at your community, and and I say your community, your immediate community, the people like in your home, that's your community. You're showing up here. You show up here, and maybe they show up on other calls. Maybe they show up and listening to other personal development or personal undevelopment. Maybe they read good books. Maybe they've got high energy music that plays in their phone and plays in their headsets. If you're like my family, that's not always the case. So you're the oddball out. You're the odd man out, the odd woman out in your world. Just be aware of that. One of the things I said in the mastermind yesterday is that as you go through this and as you start using the process I taught yesterday, be very cautious of paying attention to other people's self-talk, becoming like that reformed smoker. Oh, that's killing you. You should pay attention. I encourage you that in all of your successful activities, whether it be you in network marketing, whether it be you in a variety of things, just pay attention to those things that take care of you first. Be aware of the self-talk that you're using to raise yourself to the next level. Because it gets real easy to become the Justice League, wanting to run around and deliver justice to everyone you come across, going, oh, that doesn't serve you well. It probably doesn't, but maybe they're not in the right place to be served yet. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to share that we think of self-talk, it's always got to be negative. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I don't. Average self-talk, which is what we probably do more of, holds us back. So just be aware of that and just become conscious of the words that you use. Because if we believe, I don't know about you, but I believe that our thoughts can influence our day. And if you believe that, then thoughts are what we're aware of. It's the subconscious system that's running totally below our awareness. Right now, your respiratory rate is doing something. Your heart is doing something. There's a source that beats you, that beats your heart, that allows you to breathe. That there's this whole subatomic, subconscious system that runs that 70,000 thoughts a day. You're aware of 3,000 to 5,000. There's a whole nother level of conversation going on. How many of you, if you went to make a sandwich, make the sandwich the same way you did today as you did yesterday and the day before that, and the way you make that sandwich is the way your mom used to make it or your dad used to make it? How many of you fold over the cold cuts when you put it on, or do you put the cold cuts on flat? Do you put the mustard or mayonnaise on the bread, or do you put it on the meat? All of these little things are habits. You weren't born with the ability to understand how to make a sandwich. Somewhere along the line, you learned how to make a sandwich. That's become a program. The way you make a sandwich is the same way you make money. It's the same way you create relationships. Those ideas, those patterns were given to you. And as you understand how you change the way you do things, it's why I ask you to do the simple things. Get out of the shower, dry yourself off differently. I mean, do it totally opposite. How many of you start drying yourself off? Maybe, listen, I've never been a woman, so I don't know. I don't know how you dry off your hair first. Do you do your hair first? Do you know, especially most of you have this amazing, long, beautiful hair. Do you do your hair first, or do you do you start from your feet and work up? Do it totally opposite. Little simple things like that. Brush your teeth differently. Because all of these things, all of these ideas and concepts are stored in your body. It's why when you change things, I drip all over the place. Yeah, why not? And now here's what I will say. If you're stepping out of a tub or you're in a tub in the shower, there's a little place, please be careful. I've had people call me up because they fell down trying to dry themselves off differently. Please don't fall in the shower. What happened? So Diane, listen, I know it's funny. You've been drying yourself off for a month and a half differently, but didn't you just get an award for like something for your company for sales growth or something, right? Didn't you just get an award? Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to link it to you drying yourself off differently. Because it's a change for you in your business, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's the simplest things like that. I promise you. It's when you do things that simple, that different, that easy, that you start to be in control of your body. It shows up in the universal world. Now, can I prove it? No. But I can prove that you got an award and you did that differently. Okay, I'm going to link those two together. I'm telling you, folks, it's that simple. It ain't easy. Is it easy to dry yourself off? Yeah, but it's not simple. It's so, the idea, the concept is so simple to do, but we choose to not make it easy. When you take control of your body, when you take control over the physiology of your body, you start to say, I'm in control. And the control really comes from your heart, because your heart sends more information to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. Isn't that crazy? So I just wanted to, after yesterday's conversation, it was 4 hours of conversation, and individual groups, an hour each. And each one of those groups, there was a pattern that I could see from group to group to group. And it's been a while since I've done the self-talk masterminds, and it was good for me to get back into it. The thing that surprised me most was how common the self-talk is. That causes us to stay stuck. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys this morning. I see some hands up. We're going to go to some hands up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ceiling's on fire. How's that song go? Yeah. Corinne, let's go to California. And she's up. It's 4:30 in the morning, 4:51 in the morning. Good morning, Corinne. Oh, look at how beautiful. Oh, my gosh.
Grand Rising. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Grand Rising, everyone. Yesterday, I sent a video, a powerful video, because I got love poured into me so strongly. And I had woken up from a nap, which you feel so much more loving after a nap. You're just like, I can do this. The world is good. Everything is good. And I just had so much love in my heart, and my heart chakra was open and everything. And I sent a video to a woman who had spent her time trying to heal me yesterday, or the day before yesterday. And we were healers, and we were just like sitting and we're just talking and all this stuff. And I sent her a video, and I told her how much I loved her and how much I was thankful that our souls had met, and how thankful than this and this. And I was just free, and I had just let myself just say the things that I would love for someone to say to me. And I just said them to her, and she called me, and she told me that she never wants to speak to me ever again. She told me, don't you ever call me. You are unprofessional. You are unprofessional. I cannot believe that you did not do what you said you would do, and all this stuff. And at first I was like, and I was so hurt, because this happened yesterday. This happened yesterday afternoon. But I realized that the same tone, the same way that she was speaking to me, was how my mother used to speak to me when she would get triggered. When I would say, and when I would love her so much, when I would talk to her and I would be like, Mom, all this stuff, my mom would do the same thing, and she would yell so much because she wasn't used to the love. There was some type of, it was just too much. I don't know. It was the same type of tone, and I could hear it because I felt the same way that I felt when I was a kid. Shame for just trying to give you a hug, like shame in that type of way. And yeah, there was things that I did unprofessionally. There's definitely things that, I could have hugged less. I could have, not been as like, I love you, you're so great, oh my God, and I could have been like less, I could have been more professional, because we're healers. I guess we're supposed to be like doctors, something like that. But it's like, I just, and I was like, okay, you're right. I should have paid attention a little bit more to, I guess, I don't know. I would love to get what you think.
So Corinne, prior to her announcement or denouncement, the results that the two of you had either in the interactions with each other or the community you were with, were they decent results? Were they good results?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this woman your age?
Older.
Yeah. Is this woman from your background?
Yes.
Is this woman you? No, the answer is no.
No, I was like, wait a minute.
Right. Right. So would it be fair to say then that she's entitled to her opinion of how she sees things?
Mm, there we go.
Didn't you just go through a self-talk conversation yesterday and all of a sudden, because of the way your energy flows, you like to get it out in the open quick and be challenged quickly?
Ah, dang. Oh, you're right. I do.
So you go to sleep, you awaken to giving love and joy, and you get smacked down. And it's because you were taking care of you. And this has been, would it be fair to say that every time you've done this, especially, right, it links back to mom, but you say that you've done this, would it be fair to say that sometimes when you've stepped up to your own joy, people have found a way to kind of kick one of the legs out from under your chair? So here's the great news. This is the pattern, but look at how you're responding today. Look at who stands in front of us today. Look who's all dolled up. Look who's sexy as a pecan pie with whipped cream on top. Look who's just got her joy, because that would have knocked you out. You wouldn't have been on this call today. You'd just have been sleeping in bed.
Eating. I would have been eating a
Yeah.
lot.
So do you realize the joy that you just brought to us? Because how many of us were seeing Corinne, we were seeing her joy, we were seeing her smile, she was telling this story, and then all of a sudden that story went sideways quick. I mean, damn quick. We're like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. Did I miss a turn? Oh, my neck. Oh, my God. What the hell was that? That was like whiplash. And I sent her this love and I sent her this joy, and she goes, "You're unprofessional." Wait, what? Listen, what happened is possibly there's a slight chance that I'm hearing in my head is that that's the way she wanted to do her business. She wanted to be able to stand in her joy that way, and somebody told her that when she was little.
Yeah. And I bring that up. And I probably brought that out in some place.
Well, there ain't no doubt. There's a lot of you. Listen, here's what I will say, Corinne. You bring out the best in everyone, and sometimes people don't want to see their best. Especially women sometimes, right? They have to stay in their world, and they're not in competition with you. They're in competition with themselves. I mean, I get to see this. I got to be one of the luckiest guys on the planet. When I look at this screen right now, there's 25 people in front of me. I see 1, 2, 3 guys who are on this screen, 4 guys. And the rest are all women. I get to hang around with you guys. You guys get to teach me. You guys get to make me more sensitive. You guys get to allow me to hear things. But I also hear, y'all ready? You know I love you. I also hear this level of competitiveness and this level of, like, I don't know how I've never heard from a community the words gouge their eyes out more from the female sector than from the male sector. So there is a level of competition. There's a level of strength. There's a level of, you can push me as far as you can, but if you push me to that edge, I'm coming back like a Wolverine. And that I can't even begin to, I don't know how to deal with that. I'm getting better at it. But here's the great news. You could have either been shut down or lifted up. And right now you chose to lift yourself up. You're here. You're here already. So, yeah, throw some hearts in the chat for Corinne to go through that, because here's what I want everybody to know, to pay attention to. She's standing there talking about this. How many of us have had somebody that we wanted to admire and we wanted to give homage and give praise to and thank them? And man, they didn't just shoot us down, they buried us 6 feet under. Follow me on this. She went through that and she's here today, and we're all like, wow, she's so strong. Yes, she is. That strength has always been inside Corinne. That similar strength is inside of all of you. The difference is, for Corinne, is that at a subconscious level, she didn't even realize how strong she was, that she was able to just step through this. And it's because Kevin Eastman, who was the assistant coach with, I want to say Dr.
The
J.
Celtics.
Yeah, but who was the coach?
For the Celtics?
Yeah, Dr. J.
No, not Dr. J. That's a different team.
Doc Rivers.
Doc
Rivers. That's I knew it was Doc something. Doc Rivers. Thank you. Kevin Eastman says this: every day counts on the last day. Let that sink in for just a second. Every day counts on the last day. Had this been a year ago, Corinne, like she said, would probably be in bed eating a lot. But because of every day she has spent working on herself, doing her journaling, working on this, working on her self-talk, beating herself up a little bit, getting back into work, doing the things. She did a fitness gathering of 30 people the other day, and just that was her first one. And doing all of these new things. Yesterday was the last day of that relationship until it rekindles itself somehow. But every day prior to that counted on that last day. And it allowed her to step into where she's standing right now.
Sean, can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
I asked a question for Corinne. Corinne, do you think that the next time going forward, that's going to stop you from pouring out the same love into somebody else?
I'm going to have that Sean side, like, aww. Come here. Come on. Bring it in. I know you hate me. Bring it in. I know you hate me. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. So, and that's, Manny, that's a great question, because I heard when she was explaining what the other person was saying, but Corinne's like, that's you. You do you, boo. I'll do me. So, yeah, it's because again, how many of us we're not in collaboration, we're in competition, and a lot of times if I can use your idea and it keeps you from serving you, all the better for me, right? So, congratulations, Corinne. Appreciate you. Thank you for sharing that. Man, I got to tell you, when it took that right-hand turn, when it took that hard left, it's like, what? Whoa. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Rhonda. I'm like, oh, man, how are we getting out of this one? And she's like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, no, I cried lots. Lots, and then I let it go.
Yeah.
I cried lots.
But the fact that you knew to do that and you did it and you're over it is so much different than just 3 weeks ago.
That's so true.
And that's
so
because,
Sean,
go ahead.
Tell Corinne, this is what Sean always tells me to do. So, and you did it perfectly. You're the perfect example of it. Is when I have moments like that where you're just, the carpet's been ripped out from under you, and after you've fallen on your back, a semi truck runs over you, and then you stand up and a bus hits you, and you're like, okay, it's enough, and you're just like, oh, I'm out, man, I'm done. When I call Sean and I'm like, he's like, jump in it. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, go down the darkest, deepest hole you can right now. Just think everything you can, so negative right now. Just, if you're going to think it, jump in it, drown in it, and then be done. And so he's not telling us not to identify our feelings. He's not telling us to go act like we live in a perfect world. We don't. We don't live in a perfect world. If it's going to hit you, you know what? Bring it, like you said, bring it in. I love when you said that. Bring it in, bring it all in, as nasty as you got it. Okay, and now I'm done. So when I first was around Sean, I was like, how can he be so happy? The world sucks, man. There's crap out here. Now I know how he does it. When it comes, he takes it. He realizes that's their misery. He jumps in to whatever it does for him, and then he is done with it, instead of going, oh, there's a pool of crap right there. I think I'll just touch it. Okay, now I'll come back and I got to clean it up. So what you did was perfect.
Yeah.
I absolutely perfect. And when you said what you said, I'm over here just like writing down notes, and you said, oh, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that mows you over like nobody's business. And you have grown so much to go, all right, you know, all right, bring it in. I'm going to cry. I'm going to call my support team. I'm going to call. And look what she did, y'all. She called Jay. And Jay, where's Jay been? Right here, learning, growing, sewing in good, healthy things into her mind. She didn't call somebody that hadn't been having any kind of breakthroughs or understanding. She called someone of knowledge and of support and of love. And then got through this. Beautiful. I just needed women to hear that part, because a lot of times Sean will go, okay, yeah, and we're good. And we're all like, no. Exactly how you did it, Corinne. That was beautiful. And Jay, what a blessing to have you to be able to speak into her. Congratulations, woman, on keeping yourself cleaned up mentally to where you could handle somebody coming, you know, at you, and you don't pick up in the misery. You accept her with love, and you send her back better than you found her. That's beautiful. What a beautiful friendship y'all have.
Thank you for speaking up on that, Rhonda, because I just wanted to, so how fired up you just were, but I've always thought of a name to call this muscle, right? So I'm going to name it the Bring It On muscle, because why not? So I'm picturing Rhonda all fired up, like, bring it on. But Corinne, exactly. But it's funny, because we know the science behind building a muscle. So you got to work it, right? You got to add resistance, work it, girl, work it. But, or boys, but like we avoid it and we resist it and we think that's going to build our muscle, but we're still humans. Like we're still going to have bad days. If you're alive, you're still going to have bad days someday. But that's the trick, is learning how to process it quicker, better. So you grow as quick as you can through it with as much growth as you can, so you don't have to repeat that particular lesson again. You know, a lot of lessons that we go through are just on the repeat button because we won't learn it. We won't look it right in the eyes. We're trying to just, you know, but an analogy that someone once told me was the shit spider web. So like when you're going through things and like every time you reach up for hope, you just, the next web you grab falls, and the next grab you grab. And somebody once told me, just fall. Just fall. Stop trying to find your support. Just fall into the hole and see where it leads you. And it led me to one of the greatest rock bottoms and breakthroughs I've ever been on. So yeah, but I'm going to name that the Bring It On muscle. So thank you, Rhonda, and thank you, Corinne, because we got to strengthen it. And that's, avoiding it doesn't strengthen it. But we can show up in love in the same moment, you know, and condition this person who handles things way quicker later in life, you know. But yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, Corinne, that's the definition of professionalism, is what you did. A professional does what you did, not what the other woman did. That was more professional than she's ever dreamed about being. And you being yourself, if you hug too much, I don't know that there is such a thing as hugging too much, unless someone is, you know, unless it's a really nasty situation. The way you handled yourself, the way you said, bring it in, and the way you absorbed her misery or her frustration, you didn't get in it, you just absorbed it. And then you took it to a resource, and you allow that resource to help you through this. To me, that's professionalism, because you identified a situation. You didn't take it out on the person that brought it to you. You found an answer that you know was in you, but you needed help uncovering. You uncovered the answer, you walked through it, and you were able to speak about it now, and there's no shame on you whatsoever. There's no guilt on you whatsoever. To me, that is a definition of professionalism.
Yeah, I want to be like Corinne when I grow up. I don't want to be like this other girl.
Me too. I want to be that pretty skin. Oh my God. Ugh.
Thank you, Courtney. And you really touched on something very important. And all this is like, I feel like it's probably going to be part of my summit. Some part of this is going to be part of my summit, because when you said about that muscle, my mom started working this muscle. I grew up learning about this muscle, this whole loving people that couldn't accept love, and then running to more and more relationships that did that same thing of like, love me, rejection, love me, hurt, love me, traumatized, like, and I see that muscle now, and instead of expecting love when I give it, love it and then walk away without looking if they're gonna love it back. Like doing some type of, but also like pouring into myself. And like Sean said, like just taking it easy, because he's right. Like I'd be like sad in the morning for the morning self-talk, and then took a nap. I'm like, okay, I'm good again. And then go out there, get tested, and I'm like, damn. And like, and it's like.
Well, at least she let you know sooner rather than later, and that shows how your inner self is showing up more for you, because it's, and I would say if you went through a lot of that growing up, and especially if your family ties instilled those lessons and conditioning in you, no judgment, don't bash yourself, don't bash your family, we all did the best we can, right? That's proof that you have a special gift there. And that's what I would say now that I've learned a lot about my gifts and where I'm a lover, I'm a love bug, I've gotten hurt a lot, so it goes, but we all have it starts somewhere. But like that, like with relationships, oh my God, that's what I'll say with people who are like, all girls are the same or all guys are the same, and I'm like, well, what lesson are you not learning that's all the same? And you just see their face change, but I don't even need to know the details of the relationship, right? You just see their face change and they're like, okay. Parenting and what we absorb, it's very similar in that you got to look at your parents and know they did the best they could, they are doing the best they can still, and I say that trust me, I have one of the worst fathers you've ever met, which is why I'm so strong. But I say that with like, we're all still trying to do the best I can. But when you said that, Corinne, okay. The other day, I think it was an Abraham Hicks video, but I'm not sure. But the advice was drop the oars. Drop the oars. You're doing just fine. I'm trying to remember the details. Like, we're flowing through this river of life. The flow is always flowing. But here we are with all these oars trying to change the direction and control it, where sometimes we just need to drop the oars and just stay in the flow of love. Just know that this is my job. These are not. Picking the direction is not. I just need to watch the steps and the clues every day to make sure I'm going as far as I can every day, because then that opens up new possibilities tomorrow. Unlike if you procrastinate and say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're trapping, you're capping tomorrow's goals to today's goals, and it's just a big mess, So, but just know you're doing a great job. And the proof is in the pudding, babe, because you said it yourself, you let it go. That takes one hell of a muscle to say that. And that means you've grown a muscle. And so it's us that points it out to you. You are strengthening one hell of a bring it on muscle. And if that is your past, it's there because your experience that will help you help others deeper. And that's a great gift. That's not anything to be ashamed of, but now you know. So now you can transpire it into bigger energy because you're proud of it, So just sit with it, get to know that part of you more. There's no wrong answer. But you're doing great.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Hang on, Sean, real quick. Courtney threw out a gold nugget that I don't want to float away, that we've heard over and over, and maybe it's just for me to say it out loud. Hopefully someone else will get it too. She said, and she didn't say exactly like this, but she said the lesson continues until the lesson is learned. So Corinne, you were worthy of this lesson circling back. God knew you were capable of this lesson coming back through, and the lesson continues until the lesson's learned. And Courtney just laid out a beautiful story of how you've done so much work inside yourself, Corinne. You have elevated yourself to a place you've probably not been to in your world until now. And the lesson continues until the lesson is learned, and you learned the lesson. It doesn't mean you learn the lesson without tears or frustration or wanting to run your fist through a wall. You still do, you still have the heated emotions, but you learned the lesson because you were able to come on this call and talk about it without guilt or shame. And you were able to go, you know what? That's not who I am. That's who she is. And this is, in the naturopathic world, we say there's a retracing to get back to optimal health. It's the same thing in the mental world. The way I'm beginning to see it is there's a retracing of all the things that you've ever gone through. And God circles those opportunities back around to see if what he's poured into you through others and through yourself, if you will apply that to get past these hangups, because he's made you for something greater. And you did it. And you need to celebrate that. You need to do one of your dancing videos out on the beach or over in that beautiful green lawn where you always show us when you're dancing. And you need to do your rolling around and all the way. Yes, you need to celebrate this, because this is huge, and you need to rewire that brain with, you know what? When a lesson comes back around, I get to rewire it. That's it. That's it right there, girl.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive, it's why I need number. It's your primitive, it's why I need number. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your
Work that, bring it on muscle.
It's your primitive, it's why I need number. I like to get to know ya so I can show ya.
That was just to add to, Rhonda, not an overplay.
It's okay. I loved it. It was perfect timing. Congratulations,
Love you all
Corinne.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
This is what we do. I'm sure there's plenty of places in the world like this. I just don't know of too many. I'm sure they're out there. But I can tell you there's not a group like this group. Because otherwise, we'd all be on that call. So congratulations, Corinne. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for all of the comments people were putting in there. I get to be a part of this. How cool is that? Let's go to Bakumi. Good morning, Bakumi.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Outstanding, my love.
Good. How's everyone? I hope you're good. I literally have a quick question because I have to leave in like 2 minutes and I'm not even showered yet.
Okay.
But it's okay. I'm still gonna get there on time. Positive thinking. But I was gonna ask, how do you know, or how do you learn? No, not how.
No, but it's a how question. Go ahead.
What is a better way to learn about what the feelings that you feel? How to distinguish between whether you're uncomfortable with it, like uncomfortable in the sense like you need to grow in that area, or you dislike it. Like how do you learn the difference? I mean, there's a certain dislike when it comes to uncomfortability anyway, but like how do you know when you're just uncomfortable with it and you need to grow with it, and it's disliking in a sense like, oh, I don't want to talk to people in this type of way because it doesn't reflect good on me.
So that
You know
takes,
what I'm trying to
yes, that takes a little bit of playing it deep.
Okay.
So you learn you want to become an artist.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about wanting to become an artist, and you got to learn, you got to go to class, you got to do this, you got to buy the paint and the easel and everything else. But you start to look at how you have to spend your time becoming an artist. Right? We always say it's the journey on the way to. The challenge is we're never looking on the way to. We're either looking at the result or we're looking at the lack of the result. What's the journey? So ask yourself, as you want to go towards something, what am I going to learn on the way to? Who do I have to become? Who am I becoming when I make that successful? And that's where you've got to ask yourself. I've had people who have wanted huge goals, and by the time they played it out on the 5th level, 6th level, it came back that it was only them trying to please a parent or an ex-lover or somebody, and it was more of a revenge conversation than a success conversation. So just as you sit with it, is there something particular? I know you got to go, but I would ask you to start to just do the simple line, the T line on a piece of paper. What are the pluses? What are the negatives of it? What's the ups to doing what you're about to go do, and what are the downsides to doing what you have to go do? And then decide, is that something that you want? So is there something particular, a big goal that you're heading towards, or is this just because you're knowing you a little bit the way I do, there's something that's sitting on your calendar right now that you got to try to figure out a direction on?
I don't like how much you like just know, like. Ugh.
So
welcome to my world, Bukumi. He knows too much in our heads. Welcome to my world.
It's low-key freaky.
So here's what I know, Bukumi. When you stay in your joy, you get a lot of the best answers you've ever had. It's when you move back up into your noggin and you try to think your way out of this, that's where you get stuck. Because as soon as you get in your head, everything your mom says, your dad says, your brother says, your sister says, your aunt says, your cousin says, your friends say, what you've read online, what you saw, and then things that have nothing to do with it. You saw a three-legged cat. What does that have to do with anything? But you'll figure out a way to cause it to create some challenges. So because it keeps you from making a decision to move forward in one direction or the other. So I'd encourage you to do the T-bar. Line across, straight down. What's good about it? What's not good about it? And then ask your friends. You've got some very dear friends on here who can give you some advice without them trying to inject their values.
Oh my God. you literally just said it there. Like you said, it keeps you from making the decision.
Yeah, as much as you think I know you, I probably know you even more. It's because I love you, and you've let me love you, and you love me, and in that connection, we connect at the avatar level, not just here. So I want your mind to be freed up, and when your mind gets freed up, you are more in joy. Because look at how you're sitting there. Oh, did you just have a breakthrough?
God. Pardon?
Did you just have a breakthrough? What'd you have? Or
it's I realized this, what you just said. You're okay, right. So basically, everyone knows I've been having problems with my phone. Like the storage right now, it's just shut down. Like it's completely out of, like I can't even use it. And you just said when your mind frees up, you can do more. You can be more in joy. And the last couple of weeks since the resistance has happened, since I wanted to, like, I've been thinking about doing more and creating more. All of a sudden, my storage just started to, like, I just can't do anymore. It takes me so long to, like, put up videos or anything like that. Like, ever since I decided I want to do more, like that, like the resistance on my phone has been crazy. Like to the point where now it's just decided to like lock off. But it's because I've not made that decision to, like, I feel like it's like I'm always deciding, is this, like, do I want to go through all the way, or is it just like, should I just stop now while I have the chance? So I just, oh my God. So I've just realized I feel like I've created the resistance on my phone, not like, I've been feeling like it's external, but like, I was like, nah, it's the devil, but it's actually just me. Like, I've definitely just done this to myself, like, because it stopped me from making anything. And I can't do any drawings. I can't upload. I can't share. I can't do anything with my phone because, and I've just done it to myself. Like, I've definitely just done it. Like, I've literally just created this resistance. That is so funny. Oh my God.
Sean?
Hang on, Chami, just 1 second. I want Bukumi to breathe through this. Breathe through it.
I can't believe I've done this to myself.
But here's the great news. You're laughing about it, and now when does it stop?
It stops now.
Right. And who's in charge?
Me.
Yeah. And who's always been in charge, just so in case you forgot. Yeah. could it be possible that you're on a plateau, you were on a trajectory to some amazing things, you were doing all these things, and right, and then all of a sudden it caused everything to slow down a little bit. So here's the good news: you get to recognize this now. You get to sit in this moment. All right. Because what happens right now?
Life will never begin. Life will never be the same.
You just had a breakthrough. And you see when the breakthrough happened when you were listening to me, and it stopped. It slowed down. And you it's in that gasp. It's literally, that's how I knew it. That's how I like you and you grabbed your face. This is where all of the words come out of. You grab your face. You didn't go here. There's people who go, you went, you realize this is you speaking to you. This is you telling you have the capability. This was your self-talk, just absolutely that Wonder Woman inside going, roar! Even look at your physiology. You're starting to expand again. You're no longer, Courtney said it, you broke the pattern. You're starting to just spread out again.
My heart is beating so fast.
Oh, good. I've heard it said if you've got a heartbeat, you got a purpose. So good. Go ahead, Shami.
I just wanted to say that it really brought more awareness to what I spoke about yesterday and what you spoke about in the intro today about good and bad self-talk. And she brought the awareness to me that it's either resisting, resisting against, resisting self-talk or empowering self-talk. Kind of, it's just those two, kind of no in between. The in between is the resistance that we don't think is resistance. We think, oh, that's not negative, but it's resistance, and we're not aware that it's resistance.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, even average talk can be critical, and we have a lot more average talk than we do negative talk, so it keeps us stuck. So yes, you're absolutely right, Shami. How you doing, Bakumi?
I'm doing, I feel just weird. Like, I just feel like I was like, I just feel weird.
Well, here's the good news. Weird is good. Weird is different. It's better than where you were stuck, right?
Yeah.
So.
I made myself stuck. I can't believe this. That is so funny.
Well, here's the good news. You're recognizing it. Right? Before you would have just pushed it off and you'd have blamed it on other people, right? So when you point the finger out, how many are pointing back?
Like
3 are pointing back. Yeah, and now you're becoming aware of how much an old story was guiding you, and you now get to change that.
Because I have,
because you have the power. You're the one in charge. Yay!
Thank you, Bakumi. I feel like I just learned something from you. Thank you.
Bakumi, you just set a few of us free in our minds.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
No,
definitely.
don't apologize. It's fantastic.
You say you're welcome.
Yeah, step into the greatness of the woman that you are. You have the capability of being God's fingerprint on my heart, Shami's heart, and whoever else has had a breakthrough from hearing your breakthrough. You are a walking miracle that God used your voice, your vocal cords, your beautiful smile, your hands, your face right now for us to have more breakthroughs. That's how powerful you are. And that's freaking amazing. And you deserve it.
John, I got a question about that.
Go ahead.
Why is it so weird to receive the love? Every time I read in my journal, "Are you ready for the love?" It's like I don't even feel comfortable writing that word. I don't even know why. It's like every time I know I do something big, I know I'm gonna get a lot of love, and I don't know if I'm ready. Like it's every time. Am I ready for the love? Why is it so? Ah!
Well, first of all, there's a little bit of cultural that goes along with that question for you. It goes along with it for all of us. There's not a single culture out there. Listen, when you look back at the Murphys, we were one of the most vicious clans in all of Ireland, the O'Murchus. We had our shield, our family shield was death and morte e hospitalis. We either kill you or we like you. So from everybody's culture, it is not a normal thing to be loved. You got to remember, it wasn't long ago that for guys to hug was not a cool thing. Slapping each other on the ass was an okay thing in sports, but hugging, my dad never hugged any of his friends. It was, you barely got a handshake. There were parents who didn't hug their kids. You realize this thing is not like it's 1,000 years ago. We're talking 40 years ago. So when I sit down with CEOs and I sit down with individuals and I sit down with coaching students and mastermind teams, and the first question I ask, which is it's finally sinking into you because you've heard this 1,000 times, are you ready for the love? Hell yeah, I'm ready for the love. And now you're starting to write it going, am I? What does that mean? Repetition is key. And so what it means is are you okay with loving you? Everybody loves it. How many? Raise your hand. Type an L. Type LL. Love Luis in the chat if you love Luis, right? If you love this amazing soul, type LL in the chat. So we already love you, Luis.
Luis, I was just gonna say, I like your necklace and I like your jewelry that you have on, and you look really, really good. And I like your hair, and your body looks good. And I just want to say I love you, and you're an attractive male. So, okay, I love you.
I love you too.
I second that.
I love you too, Sean.
Spread that as well.
I love you all.
Yeah, Louise, you look great, man.
No, not better than you, bro. Like, yeah, that now I gotta turn it down.
I don't know. It's close.
Right
now, hang on.
Oh my gosh, he is so
Listen.
radiant.
Listen, I know we're kidding about it. I know we're kidding, like when all of a sudden, Jeremy says, dude, you look hot, I love you. Or you didn't say hot. I'm just going to say you look hot. I love you. I think you're amazing. When we understand, when we keep it from being filtered, the love, it can all show up. The challenge is we keep trying to put filters in front of everybody's comments. Not you, all of us. But most people, whenever anybody says something, we just put a filter through what we think we should hear that words through. And it's when we put the filter on it, when it comes from our friend, right? If I say I love you and your worst enemy says they love you, why is it different? Because we put a filter on how we should hear what they say. Do you know how exhausting it is to keep running your filters?
And it's so fast. Like, I do it as a joke, but I did it with Jeremy.
Right. And I know it was a joke. The challenge is that it's there. And once you understand that it's there, you can now still use it as a joke, but it doesn't dilute the love that was coming in. And that's how that was meant.
Yeah.
That's because we're comedians. That's because it was a moment that we could create significant laughter. Right? The job of a comedian, the way that they create the laughter is to take the message and do a hard left with it. Right? When you go, oh, we got to turn it down now, right? And you did, and that's just playing. You guys honor and respect each other. You love each other. We know that but that filter's there. And what happens is if we don't know the filter is there, we can't change the way the filter filters out stuff. So now that you know it's there, the next time that happens, if Jeremy next time and you're running around, you're jumping up and down and we all go, woo, look at the hot dude in the back. Look at the curls, right? It's yo, 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 we can turn that down. You can still say it without losing the love. Is that flowing into your body? Do you feel that?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yeah. So when I say, are you ready for the love? It's, are you ready to love you regardless of what anybody else says? What Corinne did this morning was when she cried and she did through it and she was like this, but she stepped back into her love. And when I sit down with again, CEOs of billion-dollar companies to amazing souls who speak up and speak on stage, I ask them, are you ready for the love? And I ask it because they think it's going to come from the outside in. It does. It feeds that way. But the reality is it has to come from the inside out. Otherwise, your message isn't even going to be heard. So
And the way for me to love myself is to be true to what I believe and what I stand for.
right. And so now the question becomes, as you go through this, are your beliefs, are they legacy beliefs or are they in the moment beliefs?
And legacy beliefs, what would it be like?
Well, it is what I'm about to do going to impact 600 generations from now. See, as Bakumi sits there thinking about her and her phone, that, you know what? That really has not even an impact because of the legacy she's going to leave for 600 generations. And that's been going through her head going, how could I do that? That's crazy. Get out of my head, Sean. I'll stay over here. So Luis, when you look at this, and yes, you're in the moment, you're in a change, your environment changed, you're in New York, you got all of these things new going on. That's all part of new. Do you realize that when they build statues to you and they place them in the DR and they place them in PR and they place them in New York, it's only going to be because of one thing. You were true to you. And your truth is what gave everybody else their freedom. And when your grandkids walk up to the statue and they see the word written, the big word written on the plaque, there's all of the scroll and everything else that's chiseled into the stone belief, but there's one word that describes you. That's your truth. Whatever word is on that plaque. That's how you determine legacy decisions. New York is nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Because isn't the same hand that wrote in PR the same hand that's writing now? It matters not the environment. Here's the thing. They brought you to New York so you could impact it, not the other way around.
You know what? When I came, before I came, I was thinking like, oh shit, I'm in New York now. I'm going to be a totally different person. I'm not Luisito now. And then I came, it's like, oh no, bro, your room just changed. You're the same person. You have the same vision. That was like a really mind-boggling moment. Now that you mentioned it, it's like, okay, yeah, facts.
Listen, I don't have cameras on you guys. I don't have wires on you guys. I know I've been blessed to understand humanity in a way most don't. And when you think about it, it's like, that's exactly what happened. Because if I say up, you say, if I say in, you say, if I say hot, you say. We live in a binary world. Humanity is predictable. What we're all becoming is unpredictable, undeveloped. And we get to be alive in every moment versus living in a past moment. We can choose to be alive in this moment when out of the 7 billion people on the planet, 6,900,000,900,000,000 are choosing to not be alive. They're choosing to live in a past that's 10 seconds old, 10 minutes old, 10 years old. The hardest thing for any man or woman to do is the idea of sustained thought, and the idea of staying in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, in this moment changes everything. And each of you are working to stay in this moment, because in this moment, what's in this moment? Absolutely pure joy, pure love. What's coming to you in the next moment? What is available to you out there? Only the misery, only the pain, only the suffering? Joy is available in every moment. The challenge is that when we get it, we go, ooh, I just put my hand in the cookie jar. Am I allowed to do that? Hell yes. Get what you want out of this moment, because the next moment is unbelievable. If this moment was good, guess what the next one's going to be? Gooder. And when gooder comes, guess what's showing up? Gooderness. Do you know how many people would love the chance to be able to have the chance to get to New York?
Yeah.
Right? And now you're there. I'm going to say it in all tenses of the world, in all perceptions of this phrase. Suck it up. Suck up New York. Suck up the life. Use it as the experience. You were brought there. You were brought there to make it better. I promise you that. You were there to save a state and to bring a little bit of your Lucito to all of us in the U.S. Big task. But you have these universal shoulders that are bigger than you know. And there's going to be a lot of people who want to stand on those shoulders. So you ready for the love?
Am I ready for my love? I want to say yes.
Well, good. That's a good start. You've been lying to yourself before. Lie to yourself in a better way. So at least say yes.
That's what came to my mind. Well, I got to lie to myself better. So
tell yourself a better truth.
Yeah. And if I'm not ready for the love, how do I ready myself?
Yeah, but you just said you are. See how you talked yourself out of it 2 seconds later? Yeah, I'm ready. But if I'm not, see how we do that? We're always looking for the excuse. We're always looking for the way out. There is no way out. The only way out is a grave. The hell are you waiting on? And I don't know how much time is in the top of my hourglass. I can tell you how much for sure is in the bottom, 55 years. I don't know how much is in the top. I know how much I want to be there. But if I miss a moment to hug the dogs, to tell my son I love him, if I miss a moment to tell Michelle I love her, to tickle her, to play with her, somebody forgot to get me lunch, I didn't need lunch. So what? So what? Be in this moment. Yeah, but what happened? Again, you just heard it. Yeah, I'm ready for the love. But what if I'm not? Okay, well, I guess you're not ready for the love. You see how hard it is to convince ourselves that we're pretty damn good?
Yeah.
So you ready for the love?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
Louise, do you have a baby picture of yourself? Not for me, but for you.
I was gonna.
Oh, I want one.
I mean, right? But I noticed this stuff when I was doing my stuff yesterday. I was talking. I was talking to this Corinne, and I said it's okay that you made a mistake. It's okay that you love someone who's not yet ready to love. It's okay. It's okay. And I taped it to the book You Are a Badass. And I just taped it to myself, and I just talked to myself, and I said, it's okay, you make mistakes. Try again tomorrow. Try again. Take a nap. Go ahead, baby Corinne. Take a nap. You're good. I love you. I love you. I love you. Because the woman I am today is a result because she was taking care of then. So I got to take care of me now because this is me. I turned into a sexy, beautiful bitch. And so this is me. So I have to take care of this beautiful bitch now. So it helped.
Yeah, I've never talked to my old child. I've always seen like Sean doing the walkthroughs of talking to your inner child. I've never done that. Maybe that's part of me, like having this resistance of, do I love myself? Because I know I didn't get that love from my parents. That's why I gotta get it now on myself. And that's like the old story that keeps on keeping back in. But I love that, Corinne. I love it so much. I really appreciate that.
I love you. Please understand. Please hear me. Filter down. I love you. I love you so much. You are so sexy. You are so smart and you give so much love. You played a guitar in a song saying, welcome, I love you, Circulo de Vida. You remember that? And I was like, oh my God, this man is amazing. He's singing to us on his call. Like, it's amazing. Like, you are so amazing. So I'm just going to leave it there. Filter, do what you will. But please hear me. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay,
And-
Corinne, if that's what somebody was telling you to tone down, you never tone it down, girl. Don't you ever. Anyway, that was awesome to witness.
So this is the power of self-talk. And then when we have it spoken into us, can we keep it? Can you keep that message that Corinne sent to you? And what happens is that it does start to work at a cellular level. Because see, there's not a single sound going in your head, Luis. There's not a single word going in your head. It's turning into a chemical reaction. The vibration hits your eardrum, but that's as far as it goes. I can't open your head and look for all of those words that Corinne just poured into you. The only thing that happened was a sound that you happen to understand. And if somebody on here could say, habla español, en todas las palabras en español, right? And now that was going in your ear. It's because you understand the vibration. And what happens is that it turns into a chemical inside of you. And what happens is that vibration produces a reaction. And that reaction then produces a chemical. And then that chemical changes our body. And when she loved on you, and when we love on you, there's a part of your vibration that shows up going, do I deserve to be loved on? And we push it into you, we force it into you, and you get excited and you dance around and you expend that energy in dance, in movement, in motion. Because right now, it's sitting, it's flowing into you. I'm saying it in such a way that dancing would seem kind of odd right now. But there's an energy building up inside of you.
Yeah.
And that energy, that chemical that's being built inside of you, there's a part of it that's being resisted because it doesn't know where to go in your cells. Literally, it doesn't know where to go in your cells. Y'all listening to this? Y'all following me on this? So we get this energy and this joy starts flowing into our body. We hear it. That there's a certain reaction that happens in human beings when others love in them and when others pay homage and when others respect them, when others lift them up, and we feel it and it flows into us. Part of the expulsion of the energy, part of the way the body dissipates that energy when it doesn't know how to absorb it all. Y'all ready for this? Anybody ever get goosebumps? Chicken skin? That's your body's expelling the energy because it can't store it in your cells. So when you're around somebody and they give you the goosebumps, it's because they just gave you so much energy that you can't even turn it into your body. Yes, there's a defense mechanism and your hair stand up because that's a trigger. That's you about getting ready to expel energy. So sometimes when we pour love into people, they're not sure what to do with it. They turn away, they look away, they become antsy. And then you got to give it a chance to settle in. So, Luis, how do you feel in this moment?
I feel present. Like,
Yeah.
Self-talk. At a second when we started talking about the love, it was like, let's stir you up a little bit.
Yep.
Now it's like the calm is back.
And when you're in your calm, you're in the perfect storm.
Yeah. Now I can say I'm ready for the love.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretty cool process, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's what happens. The more, and you will go in phase and out of phase, in phase and out of phase. Every tide goes in, every tide comes out, and every tide goes in and every tide comes out. And when the moon is right, the tide gets bigger. It's called the new moon, the new tide. And all of this stuff, and everything is in motion, and everything is in motion. And as long as everything is in motion, we're alive. And what we do with that motion is when we start to get the butterflies to fly in order, when we start to step in the river and we decide to lift our paddles, right? What's that nursery rhyme we all heard? Row, row, row your boat, what? Gently down the stream. We weren't meant to be going upstream. We weren't meant to be kicking and screaming and fighting the alligators. You showed up as a champion. You already beat out 500,000 other possibilities. You're the one that showed up. You were the champion. You were the one that crossed the finish line. You were the one that swam into the egg, and now you're here. You already are this champion. It's in your DNA. Lack is not in your DNA. Frustration is not in your DNA. Championship is in your DNA. Winning is in your DNA. You didn't look back and go, ha ha, suckers. You just swam your ass off and you got to the egg and you were the one that showed up. All you can do is what you do, not what anybody else does. And we've forgotten a lot of the things that we do. And that's what this call is designed for, is to wake us up.
Sean,
Yes.
I just want to say real quick that I love what you just said. I love when you said, when I'm in my calm, I'm in my perfect storm. That I'm going to like sit and meditate on that. I loved it.
Yeah, if and you probably have been, but anybody who's ever been in a hurricane, and when they say that if the eye happens to cross over you and you look up and you see the blue sky, that is exactly life. It goes this way and then it goes that way and then it goes this way and it's constantly that way, and then the hurricane moves away. But we've all survived hurricanes. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And we forgot what it was like to be in the calm in the middle of that hurricane. And the second we can step back there, we can make better decisions. And when you step into the calm and when you step into that peace and the storm comes and the storm says to the mountain, I am the storm, and the mountain says back, I am the mountain. Each of you are these mountains. Each of you have tremendous, absolutely more ability and talent in your pinky that you have yet to tap into. And it truly comes, especially right now with all of the things happening on a global scale. I think, I could be wrong, but I think the world needs a little bit more love right now. And we can't give it if we got an empty bucket. We can't be running around going, I'm full of love. No, this is what full of love looks like. It's full. I'm full of love, and it's empty, and it's hollow, and nobody wants to be around it. And we keep telling everybody, I'm your source for love. Come on, I love you. And we make all of this cracky noise. But when you're full, there's a heftness to you. There's a weight to your words. There's a weight to your mission. There's a weight to your vision. and you can feel it. You still really can't see it, but you can feel it. And when people get around you, they feel it. They know there's something special. They know they're in the presence of something that it is God-given and God-created. And there's something that's absolutely, that is this place of peace, this place of joy. They get around you, and all of a sudden they go, this is a good place to be. This is a place I want to be more of. This is a place that I can serve myself, and I can be served, and I can have more of what I want and less of what I don't, and I can do the things I want in this lifetime. I don't have to wait to come back as somebody else. And that's what happens when people stand around you and they get into your energy, they get into your orbit, and they start to see you taking care of you, and they point to you and they go, I want what you got. That's what makes you special. That's what makes the world a better place, is when you step and you stand in your glory and you stand in the middle of your storm and you go, listen, I got my own shit to deal with. You take care of yours. I'll take care of mine. But if I can give you some pointers, let me know I'm here. And you stand in the middle of your storm. And when you do that, people run to you. And some will take and some will give. It's all good. They can't take what you won't give them, and they can't give you what you won't take. You stand in your storm. You stand in the middle of your joy. You stand in the middle of your calm, and you look around and you go, the storm follows you, not you follow the storm. Does that help y'all? Cool.
Yes.
Yay. Thank you, Shammy. Who's loving Shammy's new look? Who's loving that? Just sexy hair, right? She reminds me of this, like, I don't know, librarian, right? She's just this gorgeous soul. Idea, good morning. I see you got your hand up. How about Bezzy? Bezzy, you there?
Yes.
Yay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. Totally forgot what I was gonna say. Was I gonna talk about? Why does this always happen? But totally forgot. But I just want to say good morning, and I love you guys all. And if I do remember, I'll raise my hand again.
Outstanding. We'll be here.
Okay.
Shireen.
Good morning, Sean. How are
Good
you?
morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm still in bed. I kind of was not feeling that great today, so I'm not going to turn on my camera.
Well, we're sending you healing prayers and joy and love and health. And I got to tell you, I'm loving your photos.
Thank you. Do you feel my confidence and love?
Yes, I do.
Great, great, awesome. That's all because of you, Sean. Thank you.
Aww.
Okay. My question is a little business related.
Okay.
So I've been in the business for about 2.5 months to 3 months, and initially the people that I recruited, I did not take the time to get to know them, and I just recruited them and they left.
Yep.
And so I was like, the next time I recruit somebody, I really want to get to know them and really build connections and really make them my friends first.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of seeing them as profits, I started seeing them as potentials. But it's weird because these people, these girls that I am talking to and like I meet them, they're like they get weird in the sense that why does she want to be our friend? Like she already has so many friends, because they see me on my Instagram hanging out with my friends or like going out for parties. So they're like, you already have like such a great friend circle. Why are you trying to become friends with me over Instagram, like strangely messaging me and like trying to really get to know me? Like, I don't know if it's the energy that I'm giving is wrong, but I honestly, genuinely just want to create friendships and just really take them with me to become millionaires. Oops. But that's not like, I don't think it's working out.
Okay. So part of the initial message is that if they if they see you with all of your friends, and why do they want to be friends? Maybe on your Instagram, maybe part of one of your lives or a video, if you do it, or even a post, is saying that, you know what, I have some amazing friends and I'd love to introduce you to some of them. So it's not why are you wanting to be friends? It's you're wanting to quote quote the wealth and share ideas and conversations and stuff that you're learning from the friends you do hang out with, and you're wanting to see who wants to possibly be part of that crew.
So with that, the friends that my original friends, they're all party people. They don't want to grow the way I want to, and they don't have this. They're not like-minded. I mean, because before quarantine, I had a completely different lifestyle. Like I was not into self-development or like just wanting to become a better version of myself. So the friends that I have.
Then you let them, then just say, listen, you know, a lot of times on our paths, we grow and not everybody grows with us. And I'm just looking for some new folks to grow with.
And you want me to say that on Instagram?
Why not? That's what they're telling you. Well, you're already good. Why do you need us? So evidently they're feeling that they're not of your caliber. Right? And I could see that, right? With as beautiful as you are and when you do your photo shoots, right? So they already see you as this echelon. So maybe in your somewhere on your Instagram, you've got to show that, you know, you do possibly do hair in a bun and you know, the cat crawls on you or the puppy plays on you or something, so that you become more down to earth, because you're again, your photos are absolutely gorgeous. They're sexy. And
Thank you.
Women can be intimidated by that. And they're like, well, why are you reaching out to me? Because where do you think their self-talk is? Where do you think their self-esteem is if that's the feedback you're getting? I'm not as good as you. All right. Why would you want to hang around with me? I'm a schlep. They won't say the schlep part, but why are you wanting to hang around with me? You already got friends. So part of your audience, right? This is just downloading to me now. Part of your audience is like, well, why would she be slumming with me? What they don't realize is that you probably have had a lot more average or more challenges than they've had growing up, but they don't see that.
I think I need to be more vulnerable, I guess.
Well, I don't know necessarily vulnerable right off the bat, but you need to be more real, because again, your photos, they're photo shoots, and people think that's how you go to work with the ripped jeans or whatever, right? I'm just saying, they can come up with some pretty crazy stories, right?
Yeah.
Right? And they see you the way you're like, and like, this is her normal day. Yeah, she's got somebody that runs around with her with a camera. Like, doesn't everybody have that? But also, it's part of them sitting wishing that they could have that happen to them. So I don't know, maybe you give a tutorial or you do a little behind the scenes of, you know, what it takes to put all of that in place, and how somebody could maybe experience that with their own, because the cameras on iPhones are pretty darn good. So how does somebody get into that state? What is the makeup? What is the this? What is the that? And just because, again, they just, when people are responding that way, they're saying, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not of your caliber. When what they don't realize is that you're talking to me not feeling good in bed right now, which they've probably had the same conversation. So you are just like them. They are just like you.
And there's some of them, they're better than me, and I want to just make them realize how amazing they are. But like, when they see me and they meet me, they're like, yeah, great energy, Shireen, so contagious, yada yada, and then they're like, they just disappear.
Okay, so I would have you take some time while you're recovering and getting better today. Journal some questions of what are good connection questions. What are some friendship questions? What are some things I could learn about people? Right. So do you know, Harvey Mackay did the Mackay 66 for salespeople, and I did the Murphy Network 66 questions you can ask people as it relates to you getting to know them from a personal standpoint, and to help you in your business, because you get these 66 questions answered, somebody joining you in business or continuing to stay with you in business is 100%.
Where can I find those?
I'll put it out there. If you go to, I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do it. We're connected on Instagram. I'll figure out a way to get it to you. Yeah, but
Okay, thank you, Sean. I appreciate
the Murphy 66, and it's 66 questions that just make people human.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that.
You bet. Okay, 8 o'clock. I see a couple of hands up. Reach out to me with your questions right on Instagram, and but I've got to go prep for something, so I appreciate y'all. And if you want at 9 o'clock, join us on the link that was down there, Force for Good, and I'll be on there with Courtney and Ricardo Leone having a conversation. We'll spend some time together. Rhonda, you want to give us a wrap?
Yeah, so there's just a couple of words that have been swirling around me listening to all this. And one of the questions I asked myself is what's the definition of unpredictable? And what are the traits of being unpredictable? And when I define unpredictable, I don't define it conventionally. I actually embrace it as a positive definition, because we can all say, I'll use Sean as the example. Hang on a second. There we go. Am I back? My phone kind of jumped. I will use Sean as the example. Sean is, and you could say it a couple different ways, but I'll say it this way, predictably unpredictable. We know when he opens his mouth, when we have a question, he's going to take us on some trail that we never thought of, but feels so right. And being unpredictable, to me, is where humans should be instead of being so predictable. Sean said, we live in a binary world. And he's so right. And binary to me is predictable. He says, he says up, we say down. He says in, we say out. Why not become unpredictable? Because unpredictable is, and here's some of the traits I wrote down for being unpredictable. Love without expectations. Life without as much guilt and shame, not totally, because we are human. Kindness without expectations. Smiles no matter what. Positive self-talk. Truly self-confident. Truly able to love others without picking up their misery. Those are traits of being unpredictable. And for me in my life, that's traits of what Christ is like. Christ was truly unpredictable. He ate with tax collectors. He hung out with prostitutes and tax collectors, not with the Pharisees and all the religious people. Religiosity had no place in his life. So I pose to you today, if you would, and if you'd send them to me, I'd love to read them. Can you write down some more traits of being unpredictable? And is that something that you would like to walk into your life with, being unpredictable? I think donning the title like Sean, like I'm giving Sean today, which is predictably unpredictable, is a beautiful way to be. And it's just a way to love without any barriers. And that feeds right into, if you have a heartbeat, you have a purpose. And you can be unpredictable in that. And you can go achieve that purpose when everyone else says they're predicting, yep, she's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. So be unpredictable. Send me your unpredictable characteristics. Let's make a list of what it looks like. This is kind of like a misfit list. And let's go from there. And if it's messy, what do I say? It's messy, but the mess is proof of your existence. Let's show them we exist. And let's show them we exist in an abundant way. I love each one of y'all. I can't wait to hear or see if you guys are actually going to message me with some traits of being unpredictable. And thank you, Sean, for giving a beautiful example of being predictably unpredictable. I love you all. Have a great day.
And there you have it. Another day, another dollar, another joy, another smile, another sexy curl, another amazing laughter. I appreciate y'all. I kind of know this. Let's see here.
Life will never be here. Life,
Because of each of you, my life will never be the same.
life will never be the same.
And because of that, the world will never be the same. Each of you impacts all of us every day. I'm your head misfit, Sean Murphy. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event.
I love you guys.
Love you all.
Love you guys. Good magic.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Love y'all. Have a great day.
Love you, Jay. Bye, everyone.
See y'all. Hey, Davidson. Say bye, Demon. Love y'all.